What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. Now, you know that the House Oversight Committee, or the Judiciary Committee, they have been probing big tech corporations about censorship for a while now. We saw the Twitter files when they came out, and we learned that the Biden administration had backdoor access, and it wasn't just the White House, by the way. It was the entire Biden administration. All the three-letter agencies, the federal government, they had backdoor access to social media and were actually requesting that people get banned, posts be deleted, blah, 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 censoring people, violating people's First Amendment rights. And it took RFK Jr. and I believe Missouri, Louisiana was also part of this, to sue the federal government to get them to stop doing it. There's currently an injunction to get the Biden administration to stop doing it. But, you know, can we prove that they're not doing it? No, we can't prove it. There's an injunction. They better not do it. There will be criminal charges if they do, so hopefully they're not doing it. But censorship, we just covered a video the other day of Hillary Clinton saying, we need to do something before we lose total control. This is getting bad. The mis and disinformation has to stop. Right? Well, hang on. Define mis and disinformation right quick, because some of this stuff that people were getting banned for wasn't mis and disinformation. It was their opinions about COVID, about the 2020 riots, about elections, about all kinds of stuff. And we saw that the vast majority of people that were getting requests to be censored, to be shut down, banned, post deleted, all this, the vast majority of those people were conservative or Republicans or held that type of worldview. The vast majority of those people. And we know when things are one-sided, yeah, that's not very fair. It was a big disparity, if you want to call it that. But hang on, folks. The House, they're still doing investigations, by the way. I didn't know they still had investigations going on. Check this out. House expands censorship probe to YouTube block on FBI whistleblower interview with Catholic group. Now, that headline kind of doesn't make any sense, right? And I just saw censorship in YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, let me read this. Because I read that headline, and I'm like, what? Kind of doesn't make sense, but yeah, when we get into it, it'll make much more sense. Check this out, y'all. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan on Monday expanded his investigation into big tech censorship and collusion with the Biden-Harris administration, demanding that YouTube reveal why it blocked a Catholic group's interview last month with prominent FBI whistleblower Marcus Allen. So apparently, they had this interview with this guy, and apparently it got deleted. The YouTube took it down for some reason, and we don't know why. We'd love to figure out why. But as of yet, we don't have any reasoning. But let's keep going. Jordan sent a stinging letter to Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai, whose company owns YouTube, asking for all contacts between the tech giant and the federal government concerning Allen. YouTube appears to have censored a video in which FBI whistleblower Marcus Allen, a witness before the select subcommittee, detailed serious misconduct at the FBI and expressed his deeply held religious beliefs, Jordan wrote Pichai in a letter obtained by Just the News. This censorship of religious and political speech is deeply troubling in light of YouTube's previous collusion with the Biden-Harris administration and Alphabet's pattern of anti-conservative political bias, he also said. The powerful committee chairman, who has been investigating federally backed censorship during the 2020 election and COVID pandemic, and since asked YouTube to explain why it blocked the video and to divulge communications between YouTube and the Biden-Harris administration relating to this censorship. Allen, a Marine, has been a high-profile whistleblower who has testified before Congress and has successfully forced the FBI to restore his security clearance, which doesn't happen very often, by the way. Once you lose that security clearance, good freaking luck getting it back, y'all. Jordan and Allen's lawyers allege the suspension of his clearance was retaliation for raising concerns about bureau misconduct. Yes, this is giving a very bad name to cops just in general, not just the FBI. When you have good cops, they speak up to corrupt officials, people in the police department. You got these corrupt cops, and when good cops stand up and do something, they're the sore loser. They're the sore thumb, right? They're the ones that stick out, and they get retaliated upon all the time, and it damages the system. But we need more of this. We need more good people to stand up and say this is wrong. When you have any kind of corruption going on, these people need to stand up, and we need to fight for these people to keep them from being retaliated against. We need to clean up police because, it's not all just back the blue constantly around here. I understand that there are dirty cops, that there's a lot of corrupt cops out there, and we need to get rid of these corrupt people. Once again, folks, when you have a system where you give somebody power over somebody else, there's always going to be somebody that wants to take advantage of that system. And we need bumper guards, all this crap in place to get these people out of there, right? So when these people stand up, we need to get behind them and express our support for these people. Because we need police, y'all. We definitely need police. Allen gave an interview and prayed the rosary with the nonprofit group Catholics for Catholics on September 29th, and the video was posted to YouTube, Jordan disclosed. During the interview, Mr. Allen shared how the FBI targeted him for his political and religious beliefs, how the FBI's retaliation affected him and his family, and how he relied on his faith during the ordeal, the letter added. Almost immediately, YouTube censored his story and religious expression. The FBI was previously criticized for targeting Catholics in an internal memo from the Richmond field office titled "Interest of Racially or Ethnically Motivated Violence Extremists in Radical Traditionalist Catholic Ideology almost certainly presents new mitigation opportunities," the memo leaked in January 2023. Yes, this is also when we learned that the FBI was attempting to put informants inside the Catholic Church itself. It's like, what? Like, hang on, they're targeting Catholics, and then you get Democrats and the corporate press getting out there saying, this isn't true. It's not true. That was just a memo. Christopher Wray testified, well, we don't know where that memo came from, and we've retracted that memo at this point. Like, come on, guys. We know the game. We know what y'all are playing. Y'all don't like conservatives for some reason. You got the corporate press and the mainstream news keep on yelling and screeching to the top of their lungs, like constantly, that, right-wing extremism is insane. Like, where is it? Where has all this right-wing extremism been when we've seen nothing but left-wing extremist violence constantly? Oh, you might say January 6th. No. Sorry. No, that was just a bunch of people pissed off about an election. That's all that was. That wasn't right-wing extremism, right? Like, a lot of those people there were like grandmothers and grandfathers. They were older people, mostly. A lot of them. I'm sorry. Not mostly, but a lot of them were old people. People praying. Like, there was a non-violent side to that, if you guys remember. But, like, we had the Summer of Love, for crying out loud. Right? Billions of dollars worth of damage. The cities all over the United States burned for nights on end. This went on for the entirety of the summer, for crying out loud. And the only thing we constantly hear about is right-wing extremists and January 6th. How come we're not talking about the May 29th insurrection, for crying out loud? How come we're not talking about the insurrection that took place all across the United States for the entirety of a summer? I mean, they had autonomous zones that the police allowed these people to just do whatever you want to in these zones. Up in Seattle, Washington State and all that. It's like, it was getting really out of hand. Like, and this is something else right quick. They keep trying to call Donald Trump a fascist. A fascist, for crying out loud. I'm sure you've probably heard that. Well, hang on. He wasn't a fascist, because he most certainly had the right to invoke the Insurrection Act and bring in the National Guard to quell those riots. But he didn't do that, did he? You mean he had the opportunity, he had the authority, and he definitely had good enough reasons to invoke the Insurrection Act and bring in the National Guard and arrest all these people that were rioting, and he didn't do it, and you're still calling him a fascist. You're still calling him a Hitler. Really? Sorry, that's hard for me to buy. FBI Director Christopher Wray addressed the issue during a congressional hearing, saying the memo was limited to a single office. However, Judicial Watch later revealed that the FBI's targeting of Catholics might have been more extensive than one memo. These documents disprove the FBI's narratives that the spy operation against Catholics and churches was limited to one field office. In fact, the operation seems to have been approved by top lawyers in the FBI, Judicial Watch President Tom Fenton wrote. That is right. That was much more widespread than what they claimed that it was. Christopher Wray tried to act surprised. Oh, we didn't know about this. We're going to retract it, and it's just that one field office. Come to find out it's not. Yeah, the FBI does some underhanded stuff, right? We've seen whistleblower testimony after whistleblower testimony about some of the underhanded tactics, right? Like, just look at the Gretchen Whitmer plot. You've still got leftists that get out there and say, oh, right-wing extremism. Look, they tried to kidnap a governor. Well, hang on. They were set up to do that. And I think it was 12 of the 15 people involved in that were FBI agents and FBI informants, for crying out loud. It was insane to watch some of those stories, by the way. They went and literally, some of these people picked these people up and didn't tell them where they were going until after they took off, after they left, and then told them what they were going to go do. A lot of the people said they got really nervous, didn't want to do it, did not want to do it. And it was a crazy situation. It was a clear-cut case of entrapment outright. A lot of people got their charges just completely dropped outright for that. I think a couple of people did end up going to jail because they were actually kind of Looney Tunes, but, you know, they're constantly talking about right-wing extremism and all this garbage, and I just find it ridiculous. You don't really see it, right? Like they talk bad about the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys and all these people, but, you know, when you have groups like Antifa that will show up with guns to protests and violently kick you out, and cops don't do a damn thing about it. Yeah, we have some bias going on here, right? I mean, we've all heard that story about the Proud Boys and Antifa. Proud Boys at a Trump rally, for crying out loud. Antifa shows up, starts a fight with the Proud Boys. They get into a scuffle, blah, 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 whatever happens. The cops show up. Antifa bolts. They just get out of there, they run, and they leave. What do the Proud Boys do? They go to the cops and say, look, this is what happened. You know, here's my driver's license, officer, blah, 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 blah. Guess who got arrested? Proud Boys. Some of them served jail time for that, as a matter of fact. Which is, it's just nuts. Like, it just blows my mind, the bias of some of these people. The bias that is in the federal government. Just crazy. Crazy stuff to me, y'all. But I think I'm ranting at this point. So, y'all do me a big favor. Smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. And share this video anywhere and everywhere you can, if you don't mind. It would be greatly appreciated if you guys could do that. I sure would be grateful. That's for sure. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.